Though humanity enjoys a place of relative peace within the universe of Mass Effect, their introduction to the galactic stage was not as quiet. No, if things had gone just a little differently, Mass Effect might have been a story about humans versus a galaxy filled with hostile aliens. Fortunately for us, that's not the case, but the ramifications of humanity's first contact with alien life have left ripples still felt in its main story. So, what exactly happened during the First Contact War? Before we get started, I would like to kindly ask you to like this video if you enjoy it, and to subscribe for more Mass Effect lore in the future. You can also ring the bell if you'd like YouTube to actually tell you when these videos go up. I have plans to cover a lot of your favorite fantasy, science fiction, and superhero stories and worlds, so I think you're really gonna like what we have cooking. Though greatness has often sprouted from humanity during times of peace, if there's one thing our history books, often written in blood, have taught us, it's to always be prepared. The Systems Alliance Navy grew stronger and stronger as humanity spread their colonies throughout the stars, an aggregation of power that would put humanity on the galactic map. In 2157, several human explorers were working to activate a dormant mass relay, later identified as Relay 314. An unidentified spacecraft approached the humans and opened fire, destroying all but one of their starships, which escaped to the nearby colony of Shangshi, warning the Alliance of this new threat. It's unclear if they realized it at the time, but those humans had just survived first contact with alien life. When that fact dawned on the Alliance, they had no idea the power or reach of the species that attacked them. Many within the government even wondered if they might be Protheans. Probes were launched into the territory controlled by these aliens, later identified as Turians, each armed with a nuclear fusion warhead to prevent the Turian hierarchy from gaining any dangerous insights into human technology if they were to capture a probe. Humanity's resources had been stretched thin due to their exploration efforts, which allowed the Turians to easily defeat several scout and patrol fleets. Still, during this period, there were several extraordinary acts of human ability. One notable example being the actions of Thaddeus Aham's squad, who were given a suicide mission to recover a data module from Turian mercenaries. Aham and his men held their own against the Turians, fending off dozens of them with no cover for 5 minutes until they were evacuated. Regardless, the Turian hierarchy eventually broke through the human defenses and attacked Shangshi directly, settling in for an extended orbital siege. Now cut off from reinforcements from the Alliance, General Williams of Shangshi commanded a guerrilla campaign against the Turian ground forces. However, the Turians were brutally efficient tacticians, making it impossible for Williams's men to make headway. Entire city blocks were destroyed by the Turians just to eliminate a small marine fire team. Unable to fight back without their human soldiers being killed from above, the human defenders of Shangshi began to starve, unable to replenish their supplies without risking the lives of the colonial civilians. Eventually, to save his men, General Williams surrendered the Shangshi garrison, becoming the first and last human to ever surrender to an alien in such a military conflict. Now in control of the planet, the Turians believed that they defeated the bulk of the human forces, though this assumption would quickly be proven wrong. A month after the fall of Shangshi, Admiral Castany Drescher led the Alliance's second fleet against the Turians, catching them by surprise and evicting them from Shangshi. The Turian hierarchy prepared for full-scale retaliation, gearing up for interplanetary war, though this drew the notice of more powerful entities throughout the rest of the galaxy. The galactic governing body that the Turians answered to, the Citadel Council, intervened before the conflict could grow any further, negotiating a peace and bringing a swift end to the First Contact War. In the end, just 623 human lives were lost during the fighting, with slightly more Turian casualties. The only notable engagements of the war were the Turian siege of Shangshi and the liberation of the planet by the Second Fleet. During this period, humans learned that there were many more sentient species living throughout the galaxy, coexisting in a state of relative peace. It was explained that activating dormant mass relays was against galactic law, regulations brought into effect after a series of conflicts known as the Rachni Wars. There's no way to know what lies beyond a mass relay until it's operational, and oftentimes, what's on the other side may threaten the entire galaxy. The Turian hierarchy saw their actions as the enforcement of those laws against an ignorant species, opting to destroy the offenders rather than negotiate. Both a political and cultural fallout for both the humans and Turians slowly settled after the war ended. Humanity's aggressive first contact fostered a bad reputation for the species on the Galactic Forum, and the war created a climate rife for xenophobia amongst the Alliance public. Such sentiment later allowed for the emergence of extreme pro-human organizations like Terra Firma and Cerberus. Casual racism was unfortunately common amongst many humans, though this varied from person to person. General Williams and some of his descendants, however, remained skeptical of alien species even decades after the war. Several of the nuclear probes sent into Turian space were also never recovered, and their existence is an Alliance secret that could reap significant consequences if discovered by the Citadel species. However, the bravery and ferocity of the Alliance military during the First Contact War also demonstrated humanity's combat capabilities, which drew the interest of the Council. All the more impressive given the low percentage of humans who volunteer for the system's Alliance military compared with other species. For their part, the Turians were ordered to pay heavy reparations to the Alliance by the Council. Though the Turian hierarchy saw the beginning of the conflict as merely a policing action, for many it quickly grew further. Several veterans of what they call the Relay 314 incident harbor mistrust of humans to the present. Spectre Saren Arterius, for example, nurtured a hatred for humanity due to the death of his brother during the conflict, and the Citadel archives hold logs that indicate several Turians, some in positions of power, intended on escalating the conflict further with a desire to conquer Earth. Given the hierarchical nature of Turian society, such action would have likely never been authorized by the civilization's leaders, nor by the Citadel Council, but those sentiments no doubt helped foster the sometimes animus rivalry between the two species. Again, this does not reflect every individual. Others, like Citadel Security Officer Garrus Vicarian, respected human individuals the same way he would any other. In recent years, though antagonism remains, relations between the two governments have improved. Now trade partners, they have also collaborated for the construction of the SSV Normandy, an experimental ship designed by engineers of both races, incorporating parts of both cultures. Humanity's place within the galaxy was hard-fought and well-earned, but the story of how they reached for the stars is equally interesting. If you want more Mass Effect lore, check out my video covering humanity's rise within the Mass Effect universe. Please remember to also like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more Mass Effect lore in the future. You can also ring the bell so YouTube will actually tell you when these videos go up. Also, I'm trying to put out bite-sized bits of content on other platforms, so if that sounds like your thing, go follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.